Welcome to Lotus Student Mentor channel. In this session, we are going to study pseudocode for expressing algorithms as a part of design and analysis of algorithms DAA. What is pseudocode? The pseudocode is nothing but a high-level representation of an algorithm, and also it uses pseudocode, a structured English for syntax, and is easier to understand and implement in any programming language. Now, the pseudocode is defined as a step-by-step description of an algorithm. What is algorithm? An algorithm is a finite steps for achieving an object, for achieving the goal. Now, pseudocode doesn't use any programming language. Why it doesn't use any programming language? Because it uses the simple English language text. What is the purpose of intention for using English language text? Because it is intended for human understanding rather than machine reading. And pseudocode is an intermediate state for between the algorithm and the programming language. Now, with algorithm and programming, the pseudocode is the intermediate state between the algorithm and the programming language. Here, the programming language can be the Python or Java or C++ or C#, etc. But the pseudocode belongs to any language. Pseudocode means fake. It is the fake code. We'll learn in the next video what is the difference between algorithm and pseudocode. Now, why use the pseudocode? Because the pseudocode is having there are 4 reasons are there for using pseudocode. Number 1, clarity. It is easy to read and understand. Number 2, independence. The independence not bound to any specific programming language. The pseudocode doesn't belong to any programming language. Why? It is intermediate state between the algorithm and the programming. The second one is planning. What is the planning? Helps in algorithm design for implementation. The final factor is efficiency. It simplifies debugging and optimizations. Optimizations of what? Optimizations of the programming. That's why we can call it the reasons for pseudocode is that CIPE. This is what CIPE. The next is that basic structure of the pseudocode. The basic structure of the pseudocode, first one is the algorithm name, second one is the input and output, the third one is processing steps, and fifth one is the indentation for clarity. These are the 4 concepts are required, the 4 structures. This is the basic structure of the pseudocode. Now, I take the example of the pseudocode that we can call it as AIPI. A stands for algorithm name, I for input and output, P for processing steps, and finally the indentation for clarity. Let us say the control structure in pseudocode. What is the control structure? There are 2 types of control structures. One is conditional statements, another one is the loops. Let us take the conditional statements control structure, that is if, else, and end if. So in order to understand here what is there, first algorithm name is there. What is the algorithm name? That called if condition we are going to use. Second one is input and output. What we are going to give input and output. The third structure is structure of the pseudocode is that architecture. The structure of the pseudocode is that P, that's the processing steps, and finally, and EI was indentation for clarity. This is the indentation. The indentation, if this execute statement, the execute statement is having certain indentation to execute the statement. That means that is known as the indentation for clarity. I hope you understood the concept of what is the pseudocode for expressing algorithms. In the next video, we are going to study control structures in pseudocode. Thank you for watching.